Good morning, children. Today we'll start our fifth chapter, Separation of Substances. In this chapter, we'll learn about pure substances and mixture, separation of substances from mixtures, methods of separation and solution and solubility. So everything in this universe is made up of different kinds of substances. Some are pure substances and some are mixtures. So pure substances and mixture. A substance which is made up of only one kind of particle is known as pure substances. So pure substances means a substance which is made up of only one kind of particles. For example, copper, oxygen, silver and pure water. So these are the pure substance. Pure substance means substance which is made up of only one kind of particle. Next is mixture. A substance that consists of two or more substances, which may be elements, compounds or both mixed together physically in a proportion but not chemically combined is known as mixture. So substance that is consist of two or more substances known as mixture. They can be solids, liquid, gases or even combination of these. For example, soil is a solid mixture. Lemonade is a liquid mixture because it contains three different kinds of particles, that is water particles, sugar particles and lime juice particles. And the air we breathe is a mixture of gases. We all know that air is a mixture of gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. They are the mixture of gases. Next is types of mixtures. So there are two types of mixture, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So the different substances present in a mixture are called components. So the different substance present in a mixture is known as components. The first one is homogeneous mixture. A mixture in which all its components are uniformly distributed throughout. The mixture is called homogeneous. For example, you can see in the picture also, it's a tea. It's a homogeneous mixture and all the components are uniformly distributed. So what are the components in tea? That is tea leaves, water and sugar. All are uniformly distributed. You cannot see a distinct layer. So this is the homogeneous mixture. Next one is heterogeneous mixture. A mixture in which its components are not uniformly distributed throughout the mixture is called heterogeneous mixture. This is the muddy water. You can see the muds. You can see the particles of muds here, and so it's a heterogeneous mixture. Examples are garden soil, muddy water, dusty air, etc. are all examples of heterogeneous mixture. So the difference between homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixtures are, homogeneous mixtures are uniformly distributed whereas heterogeneous mixtures are not uniformly distributed. Next is properties of a mixture. First one is variable composition. So there will be no fixed composition, no fixed ratio of the components. Second one is separation of constituents. So components of a mixture can be separated by physical means such as a mixture of iron fillings and sulfur can be separated by using a magnet. Next one is physical chain. Physical chain means no new substances are formed. So when a mixture is created, no new substances is formed. Each part of a mixture can retain its own properties. For example, we could mix various proportions of hydrogen and oxygen as long as we do not ignite the mixture. Ignite means to burn the mixture. The combination will form a mixture that can be separated. Next is melting and boiling point. The mixtures do not have a sharp melting or boiling point. So these are the properties of a mixture. Next is separation of substance from mixtures. So in our everyday life, we often need to separate or remove the useful substance from the mixture. For example, you see in your home also, when your mama poured tea in a cup, she used a strainer. Why she is using the strainer? Because to remove solid substance from liquid. Similarly, before drinking, you know that Drinking a tea before drinking a tea, we separate tea leaves from it by using a strainer to remove the solid substance from liquid. So we separate the components of mixture for a number of reasons. For a number of reasons, we can separate the components from a mixture. So first one is to remove impurities or unwanted things. If any of the components is not useful to us, we need to get rid of it. For example, in case of drinking tea, the tea leaves are not. So tea leaf is not a useful component for us. So we can use the strainer to remove the tea leaves from tea. Second one is to obtain useful components. This is churning. Butter is taken out by churning milk or curd. So the cream from milk is churned to get butter. So after churning the milk, we get butter and buttermilk. Both are useful components. For these reasons, we separate the components of mixture. So this is the second reason to separate the components from. Third is to get pure substance. We get pure metals are obtained from ores that contains metal, minerals and rock particles. So we get the pure metals from the ores. Next is methods of separation. Separation of mixture essentially means the removal of one substance from a mixture of two or more substances. So separation means removal of one substance from a mixture. So first one is separation of solids from other solids. We can separate solids from mixture solids by making use of the following properties, such as shape, size, color, mass, attraction by magnet, solubility in a liquid such as water. There are various methods for separating solids from other solid substance. Now tell me, how does your mother separate small stones and other impurities from wheat and rice? Yes, simply by picking them by hand, one by hand. This is known as hand picking. So hand picking involves simply picking out substances by hand and separating them from others. This method is convenient when the quantity of the mixture is small. The undesirable components are present in small quantities. The shape, size and color of the undesirable substances are different those of the useful substances. Next is threshing. You must have seen bundles of wheat stalks tying in fields after harvest. So this is the bundles of stalks. After harvesting the crops such as wheat and rice, the grains are separated from their stalks. Once wheat is harvested, the stalks are dried, then each grain of wheat is separated from the stalks to which it is attached so that it can be grounded into flour. This method of separating from grains after harvested stalks is called threshing. So the separation of grains from the harvested stalk is known as threshing. So this is the threshing. This can be done by bullocks.